So people are asking me about affording travel, about how I travel, about tips and things like that. And so this video is going to be a two-part series. Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Hope everyone is doing good, hope you're well. If you're new here, my name is Faye, and over here we talk all about travel tips, travel stories, travel inspiration. And if you're returning, I'm glad that you're back, I'm glad that you're here. Give this video a thumbs up if you're expecting something good. Yeah, so welcome. So today I really wanted to get into some travel questions. I did a Q&A as well on my Instagram stories. If you don't follow me on Instagram, you should. There's a lot of cool stuff that goes on there, and I felt like there were some questions that I did not get into as thoroughly as I guess I would have wanted to. So I thought, why not do a video about it? I'm really excited about it. I have quite a bit of questions. If you see me looking at my computer right here, it's because I don't want to miss any of the questions that I jotted down. A lot of them were related. So people were asking me about affording travel, about how I travel, about tips and things like that. And so this video is going to be a two-part series. When I talk, I categorize them, and I have 5, I guess, popular questions, and then the 6th one will be in the next video, which is my most frequently asked travel question. So you should definitely stick around to the end of the video and also watch part 2, which I guess I will drop next week. So make sure you look out for that, because that one it's just one question, but it's going to be packed with advice. So without further ado, let me get into these questions. How do we demystify the fact that traveling is a luxury? And I like how they sort of framed this question, but it's true, there really is a lot of demystification that needs to happen around travel. So first of all, I will acknowledge that travel is not a basic need. So I'm not out here trying to tell people that if you do not travel, you will die. It's not a basic need. Our basic needs, we know them. We all studied Maslow's hierarchy of needs. So food, shelter, the basics, right? But once you have those covered, I believe travel can really enrich your life. So it can give you a lot more than the basics. And I guess that's how we demystify the fact that it's a luxury. It can be a necessity in some ways, depending on what it is that you want out of life. So I think to answer that question, I would say we really just have to understand the benefits of travel. And so this question kind of leads me to unpack those benefits. The benefits are so many, and they vary for different people. You know, so many people pick different things out of travel. It's a very personal thing, I think, and that's why I encourage everyone to try it, because who knows what it will lead to, or who knows what you will gain from it. But some of the things for sure that everyone can gain or benefit are exposure. You really do expose yourself to the world. You know, you realize what a tiny space you occupy in this big world. There's so many places to visit, there's so many places to see, and there's so much to learn. And we learn more by seeing and by doing. So think about all those history and geography lessons you had, learning about Canadian prairies, Vasco da Gama. I remember visiting Mombasa and just like going to Fort Jesus and learning about some of these things that we had learned a long time ago in school that didn't really make that much sense, but when I was actually there in the place, it made sense. So you do learn more about the world, and I feel like through that you also discover things about yourself. For me, that has been one of the biggest benefits. Self-discovery comes through travel. You become more aware of who you are. You put yourself in situations that are outside your comfort zone. You kind of allow yourself to explore. You challenge yourself. You learn how to adapt and adjust to different situations. And I believe that those lessons are directly transferable to your everyday life. You know, all of a sudden travel really helps with problem solving. And not only does it help with problem solving, but it also puts your problems in context. You know, sometimes we're just stuck in our little bubbles and the world rotates just around your little life that you have in your little village, in your little town, in your little home. But then when you get to travel and get to just see the world, you do put yourself in context. All of a sudden, that challenge that you were having with your coworker is not that... It's not the end of the world. Every time I would go for a trip and come back, whether it's to the office or just to my life, I always feel like I come back with a fresh perspective and I come back with a new outlook. Things are put in context. Just surrounding yourself with nature allows you to reset, and that really just helps you to adjust and be able to adapt to whatever things you're dealing with back home. And you also get to appreciate the world, to appreciate beauty, to appreciate what God created. And I find that also many times can inspire creativity. Your eyes are opened, your mind is opened, your mind is stretched. There's so many benefits from travel, but those are just some of them. And I think when we really understand how useful those benefits and those lessons can be, not just in the context of travel, but how they can be applied to our everyday lives, whether it's in our workplace or our relationships with people, just better understanding. Imagine exposing yourself to all kinds of cultures and foods and ways of life. For sure there will be some benefits that will translate even with your immediate family and your friends back home. So I think we can understand how valuable travel is in terms of opening up our mind, our hearts, our imaginations, and how that can benefit us and also benefit the societies and the people where we live. Then yeah, we will start to look at it as less than a luxury. Okay, next question. Someone asked, if someone wants to travel, shouldn't they begin with destinations near them and then afterwards they can cross borders? And I say yes, for sure. I did a video recently, my last video, you should check it out. I was talking about my favorite places in Uganda. Uganda is where I come from. I'm Ugandan, and I found that there's so much value in exploring your own country. Like, you don't have to go too far. You don't have to be super rich to travel. All you need is an open mind. And I'm going to get more into affording travel later on. But it's a mindset. I really believe it's a mindset. Travel doesn't mean living in a luxury hotel. You can camp. You can go camping. You can sleep outside if you're open to it, if you're open to the experience and the lessons that you can learn and the benefits that will come from that. So yes, start from your home country, start from the city where you live, start from your grandparents' village. I remember speaking about this and I said so many people back home in Uganda have not even explored their villages, and yet other people are flying from across the world to see some of the stunning attractions where their village is. So, you know, visit places in your village, find out what are the interesting sites, what can you learn from there. Do you have any lakes that are nearby, any rivers? What's interesting about that lake? What's interesting about the people that live there and the culture? So definitely start close by. I think and train yourself to be curious. I think you benefit the most from travel when you have a heightened sense of curiosity and you ask questions and you want to know things and you want to have conversations with different people. That's when you benefit the most. So for sure, start from where you are. You don't have to go too far to travel. Explore your country, explore your city where you live. Just start, and then as you get into the habit and into the culture, then you can broaden up and you can go to other places abroad. Okay, so someone asked me, how do I plan all my travels logistically back to back? So this person definitely must be following me on Instagram, because I post a lot of travel pictures. On my blog as well, I write about the places that I visit and I post pictures about those places, so it can appear like I am constantly on the go. And I'm here to tell you that I'm not constantly traveling. Right now, I'm not traveling like everyone else. I am quarantined, and I hope you are too. So I'm not constantly traveling, but I do plan a lot for travel. I think there's just something about always having something to look forward to in life. One of my favorite quotes is work, save, travel, repeat. And yeah, so a lot of travel has got to actually do with the working towards it, actually making the money that you're going to use to travel, saving, planning before the actual travel. And I personally really enjoy planning trips. I love looking forward to a trip. I love counting down to trips. And yeah, so it might appear that way, but I'm not constantly traveling. And I think one way to incorporate travel in your life is to plan for it, to save for it, to be intentional. Again, I'm going to talk more about this in the next video. By the way, if you're enjoying what I'm talking about, if you're finding this content valuable in any way, please give this video a thumbs up and leave a comment in the description. Tell me what you resonate with, what actually has stood out to you, what you agree with, what you disagree with. Let me know in the comments so that we can continue the conversation there after this. All right, my next question. Someone said, I want to travel to Tanzania. Any travel tips? This was very specific, Tanzania. And I love this question. I chose it because it actually made me really nostalgic. I was last in Tanzania in 2014. That was a whole 6 years ago, but it was such an amazing trip. And that's the other thing about travel. If I can just go back to the benefits of travel, which are endless, you really do get to create memories. Something else I love that someone said was, die with memories and not dreams. We all will die eventually, and I think making the most of this life that we've been given is so important. And one way in which you can do that, like really live your life to the full, is by creating memories. Create memories with the people that you love, with the people around you. Create memories with yourself. One of the things I also always telling people is that things go. Things can be stolen, things can be taken away from you, but memories stay forever. So instead of collecting shoes, clothes, bags, and whatever else it is that you collect, how about collecting some memories? Things that you just look back on and smile and just remember. So anyway, whenever I think of Zanzibar, it's just like all these memories that come to me. Tanzania and Zanzibar. I went to Zanzibar in that trip. So some tips that I would give if you're going to Tanzania: definitely you should visit Zanzibar. You can't leave without visiting Zanzibar. It is paradise. It literally is one of my favorite destinations in the world that I have been to. We took a trip, we flew to Dar es Salaam, the capital, which was interesting. The nightlife was great, I remember. And I was visiting a friend of mine called Ia. Hey Ia. And she is Zanzibarian originally and lives in Dar es Salaam. Another benefit from travel, I'll keep throwing those in there, is you really do get to make friends from all over the world. I met Ia when I was doing my university in Malaysia, and we're still friends to this day. And I've visited her in Tanzania. She has visited Uganda as well. So you really get to learn more about different places from the friends that you make, and you never know what those friendships could lead to, or that could be an opportunity for you to visit a place and not have to stay at a hotel when you visit. So those connections are really important. I really value my friendships that I've made with people in other parts of the world, and I love hosting people as well in Uganda when I can. So there's just something great about that, and I feel like it really does enrich your life. So gosh, I keep like sidetracking. So that's why they're going to be 2 parts for this video, because I know it's going to be long. But anyway, this is the second last question, so we're almost done. Places I'd recommend in Tanzania, like I said, visit Zanzibar. It's cheaper if you go to Dar es Salaam and take a ferry. I remember the ferry did not cost much, and you can take the ferry directly to Zanzibar from there. While I was in Zanzibar, I had to check with Air because I couldn't even remember some of these places. This was way before I started blogging. So Prison Island was stunning. I remember just being in awe. It was just really beautiful. We swam in the Indian Ocean. We did a lot of water activities. We went snorkeling. That was the very first time I went snorkeling, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. So if you're into water activities, there's so much that you can do there. We also went to this place called Sandbank, which was a small sand island. That was a fun experience as well. Just some other places that you might be interested in. There's a place called Kwale Island, which is in southern Zanzibar. and over there you can get to swim with dolphins, so that's a really fun experience. I'm told I didn't go to the southern part. And also the snorkeling there, I'm told, is really good. The underwater life, the corals there are really beautiful and really rich, and there's also so much great history there. So those would be some Tanzania tips. I recommend Tanzania for sure, and Zanzibar if you're looking to visit places within East Africa. Okay, my final question. What's the most daring thing you've ever done? In regard to travel, definitely it was bungee jumping over the River Nile. I talked about this still in my last video, which I will link over here. Yeah, it was really daring. I'm afraid of heights. I literally remember second guessing what I was doing up until the very last second. But once I did it, it was so much fun. Like, it was scary before I did it, and then when I actually did the jump, it was so exhilarating. And that's the thing, it was one of those feel the fear but do it anyway kind of moments. And yeah, again, like, that's one of the things about travel. Sometimes you are faced with your fears, your deepest fears, and once you overcome once you overcome them, it empowers you. So you translate that to your everyday life, and you feel like, okay, you know, all of a sudden certain things are not that scary. So that was my most daring thing, and I definitely enjoyed it. It was worth it. Would I do it again? I don't know, but I'm glad that I did do it that time that I did. So yeah, guys, that brings me to the end of this video. Like I said, there will be a part 2, so make sure you are back here same time next week for that. I'll be answering just one question, but it's the most frequently asked question, and so I'm going to really unpack it, and I'm really looking forward to that. I hope you guys are too. Let me know if you enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up. That's how I know that how you're reacting to the different videos and which ones you enjoy. Also, when you subscribe to this channel, you help me grow, which really does help me here on YouTube. So if you haven't subscribed, just hit that subscribe button. It's free, and leave a comment. Let me know what you agree with, what you didn't agree with. If you have any other travel questions that you'd like me to answer, if there's something possibly you'd like me to include in the part 2 of this video, just let me know in the comments down below. I look forward to your comments. I look forward to responding to them. Otherwise, thank you so much for making it to the end of this video. I really appreciate you guys for watching it to the very end, and I will see you in my next one. Mwah.